Hey, and welcome back to Chuck's Tuesday Tips. I'd like to introduce my faithful sidekick, JJ here. Um, JJ just did his first bird on his own, and we were going to card up this on the camera, but it got a little too dry, so we had to card it up previously. So we're going to use his duck as an example of how we card the duck out from where we left off last week. We had just blown it out and started to get it groomed and posed. So I'm going to have JJ do this while I explain it. So you want to cut your wire here. We're going to take some wires, put it under the wing. We might have done that last time to give it some support on the primaries. Maybe you about stand here. No, not you. This go. Okay, now bend it to shape. Remember. I thought maybe if I explained it to JJ while I was teaching, it might. Boy, look at how great. We got great shape on this wing. You did a good job. You got the wire up in there perfect, where we can open it up or close it, however. You got good shape on its head, nice full neck. A little bit wet still. Okay. Yeah, now you take your pin and put it in there and make your hook. What we're going to do is we're going to put a pin in this third joint or the wrist. And we're going to take that and we're going to rest the primaries on this wire so we can get them nice even line. And then to get this wing out as far as he wants it, we're going to put a little wire. Wait, this thing's not cooperating. It's not in far enough. Well, so much for my theory of teaching you while I do it. It'll go smoother. Okay. How far out do you want your? You want it like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we want it about this far out. So did you have your little wire?
Right there, right here,
On my hand.
right there in front of you.
We cut a smaller gauge wire and make a little loop around it. We're going to come in and make a loop around our pin, and that's going to hold our wing. Now the next step is to get these primaries nice and lined out, and as you can see, they make a continuous line. And same with these upper ones. So this is where all the time comes in on your birds, is doing all this stuff, getting these lined out. Now again, we got two things going on with this bird. We got a juvenile bird and a lot of pin feathers, and we got a pretty well shot up wings. Okay, JJ, now you want to do this like I told you?
The card?
The card, you want to line these to where this line, the feather flute or whatever it is, and then we'll get some cards on there. Now, again, you can spend hours and hours grooming these birds. One rule of thumb we like to do is get our basic pose done while we're mounting it, so we don't have to manhandle it too much. It's getting pretty good, JJ. It's getting a nice line there. I think that's good. We can get it. Now he's going to come in, and luckily my neighbor drinks a lot of beer, so we get a lot of carding material thrown over the fence. We're going to take a card here, and he's going to go ahead, making sure that this line is still lined out. he's going to go ahead and put some staples in there. Yeah, right there. Right there. And maybe one more. Right there. Okay, and now see how that cards it out? Now we're not going to do both sides for the sake of time. You want to grab the drywall tape. Now our other top secret thing we do is we use this drywall tape stuffy here. We rip off a little piece and kind of bend it. It's got a little line in there where it bends. And we come up here and we put one through there to kind of hold that down. Boy, that's nice, man. Good job.
Thanks.
Then the tail feathers. Yeah, you want a nice fan on that. Get our little curlies up here. So there's two ways you could really do the tail feather. One is you could check it, groom it every day while it dries and make sure it's lined out and just keep checking it. And then the smart way, which is never what I do, is to card it. Okay, JJ, will you hold that half? And again, it's the same basic rule, is getting these feathers lined out, just following the pattern on them. And then we take a couple big paper clips and okay, what's going on here? So our wire, our tail's a little heavy and pulling down, so we just grab our wire and adjust it up. Now we continue to groom while we're going, getting the pockets to come down. And really, you shouldn't really use your hands. You should use the tweezers. And basically, you're just going to go over the whole bird and make sure the feather patterns are all lined up. Let's put the other card on. I'm going to have you do that, JJ.
I'll use stapler.
You want to use a stapler? Sure, whatever you're comfortable with. There's no, one thing about taxidermy is there's no absolute right or wrong way to do your method. Whatever you're comfortable with doing, that's okay. You know, like JJ wants to use a stapler, it's easier for him than using the paper clips. So it just doesn't really matter. Oops, got a dead canary here. Anyway. So now you can see the difference between the carded wing and the uncarded wing. Now, is this fighting you still? This still when you clipped it? Yeah. There we go. The curlies. Now, this tail, if you don't like it like that, grab a big upholstery pin and put it up under there. You know, see how it's dropping?
Mm-hmm.
So you need an extra pin in there. Sometimes you need extra pins. There we go. Perfect. Now, the other thing JJ likes to do is get a nice flip on this. Make it look like the wind's blowing through these wings. So we got this little feather bender widget tool at somewhere we got it. And if that doesn't work, you can always use your fingers like this, kind of like curling a ribbon or something, I guess, huh? How them ladies do that when they wrap the presents. I don't know, just quit laughing. Anyway, get a little flip, it needs a little bit more. And then we just continue to just keep grooming it. Well, if you want to do that first. See how it's this is supposed to put a nice thing. You know what works better is a curling iron that we don't have. But so that would work better. Anyway, you're going to be seeing a little more of JJ. Next week we're going to start doing the novelties, the gun racks. So I'm going to teach him how to skin a deer foot out, and while I teach you guys how to do it and put one together. So thanks for tuning in to Chuck's Tuesday Tips. We're going to spend, or actually JJ is going to spend the rest of the afternoon messing around with his duck, and maybe we'll show it to you later when it's painted or when we reveal Mike's teal. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.